Let's talk about Skeleton Crew. So I don't know about you, Alex, but this was a surprise show to me. I did not hear anything about it. It just came out and I was like, oh, a new Star Wars show. So did you know anything about this show?
I saw like a trailer a few months back, but I didn't know it was like when it was releasing.
Okay. Yeah. So we're going to talk about the first 3 episodes today, the episodes that are out. We'll do a non-spoiler version and then give a spoiler warning and then go more into spoilers. And we'll give our scores for each of the episodes. So I'll go ahead and start on this one. Like I said, it was a super surprise for me, so I don't know if that's affecting my scores, but I've been really enjoying this show. I think they've gotten better as they've gone on. I think I enjoy episode 3 the most, and then 2, and then 1. So for episode 1, I gave it a 7, and then episode 2, I also gave a 7, and then episode 3, I gave an 8.
Okay.
And yeah, it just feels like a Goonies/Stranger Things inspired Star Wars show. It has some mystery in it that I'm interested to see where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
Started a little slow in episode 1. I still was enjoying it, getting to know the characters and stuff. The characters are interesting, and all the places they've gone so far in just 3 episodes have been really cool to look at and see. And surprisingly, the kid actors haven't really been bothering me that much. They're doing a fine job. Yeah. Sometimes kid actors can be a little annoying, like we saw in The Acolyte, but yeah, they've been fine. So yeah, for a show that came out of nowhere, it's been solid, and I'm excited to keep watching it.
Nice. I yeah, pretty similar as you. I've been really enjoying it. I don't know if it's because our last show was Star Wars was Acolyte, or if it's because we actually enjoy it. But no, I actually think it's pretty good. I think it's clearly, obviously inspired, like you said, like Steven Spielberg, Goonies type stuff. And yeah, none of the actors annoy me. Nothing feels forced. There's a good mystery I'm very curious about. I love the whole space piratey feel to it. Mm-hmm. I've really enjoyed it. I've been watching it with my kids too, and they are obsessed with this.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
They like literally love it. They want to watch another episode. I'm like, guys, we have to wait a week. Not everything is binging.
That's funny.
They're so used to be able to just watch things back to back to back. But no, yeah, I agree. The first episode was probably my least favorite, but it was still good. You could just tell it was a setup episode. So I agree, 7 out of 10.
Yep.
And then I agree with the second episode, 7 out of 10. It probably should have just been 1 episode, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then third episode I did enjoy the most. So same as you, 8 out of 10. Very, very similar. It feels like a fun space adventure. I love it.
That's a good way to put it. Absolutely.
Yeah. So watch it if you haven't. I know Star Wars name is tainted. A lot of people won't even give it a chance because Star Wars is attached or it's on Disney Plus or whatever, but it's not bad. It's a pretty decent show.
I definitely agree. Give it a shot. It might surprise you.
Yeah,
it feels more to me like, it's weird to say because Andor is such a different tone than this show, but it feels more like Andor in the fact that it's not trying to just be like the Star Wars movies. It's like trying to be its own thing. It has its own inspirations, but it's just set in a Star Wars setting as opposed to just trying to copy Star Wars. So I've been enjoying that aspect of it too.
That's what I love about it. Like taking a concept, like a noir or a pirate film in this sense.
Yeah.
And just using the Star Wars property to make a film in that kind of genre. And I've always found out, why haven't they done that more? It'd be interesting.
For sure.
And you're right. There's no like big cameos or at least not yet, or nothing, crazy that connects it to big. It's just a nice, cool,
contained
adventure in space. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, I think we're ready to get into spoilers. So, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, go watch it because it's good. Give it a shot. But spoiler alert for the first 3 episodes of Skeleton Crew. I think what they're doing with like Aten as a concept, like the planet the kids are from, is really cool, where they escape it. They think it's just like this boring old place. They leave it. And then everybody else, when they say the name, are like, that's a legendary place that no one's ever found. That's a really cool idea. And it makes that mystery more interesting of where they're from and what's going on there. I think that's a good hook for the show.
I agree. It's a great hook. And like, it's like a myth, this planet. And this planet has like treasure. I don't know. It just seems like a cool, I don't know.
And it works really well for like what you said, the pirate theme kind of thing. It's like the lost city of Atlantis or, El Dorado. It's kind of like that feeling where all the pirates hear about it and they're like, oh, there's treasure there. That's really cool.
Yeah. Even the droid talks like a freaking pirate.
Oh, I love the droid SM-33, which spells out Smee, like Captain Hook's right-hand man.
Oh, that's right. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so he's definitely pirate themed, and he's probably my favorite character in the show so far. I like him a lot.
That's cool. I literally didn't even notice that.
Yep.
That's a cool little, that makes sense. He's my favorite character too.
Yeah, he's good. And I also like Captain Silvo. I think that Silvo, right? Or Jod Nana would. The mystery around him's also interesting. Like, is he really a Jedi? Is he just doing tricks? And like, his whole story is really interesting. I'm very excited to find out more about him because I just like, if he is a Jedi, learning about what happened to him after Order 66 will be interesting, and how he became a pirate.
I mean, he has to be a Jedi, right?
I think so. That's where I'm leaning.
So, I mean, he's like floating the key out of the dungeon. I don't know. I mean, if it's tricks, like...
I mean, because the kids were like, oh, what if he had like string or something so unless he's like a really good sleight of hand person, which I don't think that's where they're going with it, I have a feeling he probably is a Jedi or Force sensitive or something and learned from someone.
Was he the pirate from the very first episode?
Yeah, the opening scene.
Yeah.
Yep, the guy in the mask.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I like the third episode with the owl lady.
Yeah, Kim, spelled really weirdly.
Yeah, of course. But I kind of liked how she's like, I mean, she's probably the good guy here, right?
Yeah.
And if the kids still go with him. I don't know. It's just such an interesting concept. And these kids are so naive, too. But,
and that scene with Kim, like, there was a part where it was kind of like hand waved away what she's doing, finding the planet and giving them the slip. And in some shows, I would have probably been annoyed with that, but it kind of fits this to just like keep it going as that like space adventure kids.
Like
they don't really care.
Space adventure.
Yeah, just keep it moving. Don't get bogged down. It works for this show. And because when they first did it, I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. But thinking about it, I was like, actually, that doesn't really bother me. Like, kids aren't going to care about how she got to that. Yeah.
And I love that space ship fights with after that when they escaped or going away.
Where the kids are just fully firing on New Republic X-Wings. Like, I guess they're really pirates now. They're committing crimes.
Yeah. I just thought it was kind of cool. Like, it
was cool.
And just seeing kids like excitement, like we all like when I was a kid, I'm like, man, what if I could be one of those? Like how we would react to that. And I don't know. I loved it. It just makes it, this makes me feel like a kid again watching it. I think that's why I've liked it so much.
Yeah. And I think this show is actually, it has pretty good comedy in it. Like one thing that stood out to me was Captain Silva was telling the kids to go to bed and Fern was like, what? I'm not even tired. And then it jump cuts to her just fully asleep in the next second. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty accurate for kids.
I know, my kids were cracking up with that too. Yeah, that's like a humor where like everyone could get. Like my kids thought it was funny, and then of course like adults are like, yeah, but that's what kids do.
I was gonna say I did not know Jude Law was in this, and when he showed up, I was really surprised. Like I did not expect him to be in this show. I didn't hear anything about.
I didn't either. I didn't expect him to be in it.
I like him though, so I'm glad.
Yeah, I like him too. Yeah, I even saw the trailer, and it just didn't click that that's like Jude Law.
Yeah.
I think all the kids are good. What's the Neil? Is that the little like elephant kid or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of like the comedy relief a little bit. Like little moments where he's like tripping over things or
their little lightsaber fight at the beginning in the first episode was funny. I enjoyed that. That was really funny.
I don't know. You could just tell like the people who made this are just having fun with it. Like this does truly feel like an authentic Goonies type movie. It really does.
Yeah.
And I love it because I'm obsessed with those kind of movies. You know, like Super 8 and Goonies and all that stuff. And all the kid actors you said, like you said, they didn't bother me. You know, like they're all pretty decent.
I will say what's the main kid's name? The Wim.
Wim, yeah.
His dad was annoying me, but that's just because of the way he's written. I'm like, man, read your kid a freaking bedtime story. Like, stop. Yeah. He did not seem like a good dad, but that might just be the society.
He just wants a dang family, man.
Yeah.
That's true. He's like looking at other people's windows and family. It felt like a little Christmas Hallmark movie. I just want a family for Christmas. This isn't even a complaint, but one negative for me is I can't tell, and again, I guess it's not even a negative. It's more so I'm just curious. I can't tell like who's the main character. Is it KB or Win? Because a lot of times we at the beginning of the show we were looking a lot in the eyes of Wim, but then like in the second and third episode it's like what's her name? KB?
KB. Yep.
She's like, I'm captain, and now she's kind of the cool one, and Wim's kind of like the doofus. So I'm not quite sure, like...
Yeah, I mean, it might just be all the kids are kind of the main character, and it kind of floats between... Yeah. I definitely think KB is probably the smartest of the kids. She has that head thing,
for sure.
kind of, which I think, you know, she has a lot of data in there and is smartest, so that might be why they're doing that with her.
Well, and then Fern. Sorry, Fern was the one that was the captain, right?
Yeah, Fern's the captain.
Yeah. That's true. I guess they all kind of get their moments to shine. But I think as an audience, I think we're supposed to relate the most with the whim.
Yeah.
That's what I got the
so.
impression of.
Especially because that's who it started with. The one really kicking things off, finding the ship, and then making
and he's like,
take off.
obsessed with Jedis, and he just wants to go on an adventure, all the things that we wanted to do as kids, he's getting to do now.
I definitely think he's the driving force.
The humor, like you mentioned, when they found the ship, he thought it was a Jedi temple, and the boys were digging. They're like, "Oh, these girls are so dumb," because they made a deal, and the girls are like, "Oh, these boys are so dumb." Like just little humor like that, like little lighthearted.
And we'll say dibs when we're inside. That kind of stuff is like kid logic.
And there was, like you said, there's some things where, like, if it's a different show, I think it's so stupid. Like the way Wim just like pushes all these buttons in there, and like, there's just certain things where, like, but it's a kid,
Yeah, it makes total sense.
That's what
all
of us would do. If it was like a horror movie, like with adults, you'd be like, "You friggin' idiot! Don't touch anything." But
true.
But it's like it's a kid. So I'm excited to keep watching it. And I don't know how many episodes there's going to be.
I was just going to ask that. I assume like 8 probably. That seems to be the norm. Yep, 8 episodes.
8. It's so why is what made 8 standard, man? I
think it's a Disney thing, honestly. I don't know.
It must be.
Because even some other shows that do around 8, they'll sometimes have 9 or 10, but like Disney always seems to be 8.
8 or 6. They do 6 with some of the Marvel stuff, don't they?
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't know.
But like Star Wars, I think is like 8, and then Marvel's like 6.
Interesting.
At least on average, I guess. But okay, so 8 episodes.
Yep.
And episode 4 comes out, I believe that's on Tuesdays, right? So tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Do you have any theories on what Atten is, or what we're going to find out about it?
I don't know. I have a feeling that it's not actually like treasure that they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like gold. I think there's something there. But I don't know. What do you have a theory?
I have a theory that it's either something from the High Republic or the Old Republic that was like kind of not really a shield world, but basically like a world that was cut off from everything and hidden away, so that if the Empire takes over and destroys everything, it's still there to be able to like rebuild the society. So it's like, I think it's going to be way older of an origin than we're thinking. Like, because at first I was like, okay, this is like Republic era. It kind of seems like in the first episode. But I think in episode 3, someone says something about the money, about it being like Old Republic or something. And it kind of gave me that, I wonder if this is older than we think it is, the origins of it.
Yeah, they said something Old Republic. So you think it's going to be older than the High Republic?
I think it's either the High Republic or older. I don't think it's like regular Republic era.
I think the High Republic would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Just because we haven't really seen it in live action. I guess we saw it in some of the games, but the game.
And a little bit in Acolyte, some of the flashbacks, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But I do want to see more. And it seems like that's more of what they're actually bringing into canon is the High Republic stuff. So I think that's a higher likelihood than the Old Republic.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love for it to be Old Republic, but I just don't. If they're going to do Old Republic, I just feel like it wouldn't be in this show.
Yeah. But after I heard that, it made me want to go back and rewatch the first 2 episodes and like really look at some of those stories that he has on his like iPad thing where he's looking through the Jedi stuff. I'm like, wonder if there's something hidden in there.
Yeah, like some little subtle hints. And like they're pretty much raised in that world. Like you're going to either be an analyst or you're going to be a whatever, farmer.
Yeah, and it's decided from when they're like 8 or whatever age they are. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like I wonder what the treasure quote unquote is. Like because I don't think it's just going to be gold. Like unless they really are going for like a classic treasure hunt type of film, but
yeah, I think it's going to be different.
But I mean, I can't wait. Like this is interesting, and what's cool about this is it's kind of the first time in a Disney show, I guess, probably since the first like season of Mandalorian, where like it's kind of exciting because I don't know what's going to happen, and I love like Ahsoka, but we know those characters. It's like established characters. This is just new.
And Andor, where that's going to end.
Yeah, where Andor's going.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan show's, Obi-Wan show. And then like Mandalorian, season 1 was probably the season I kind of felt that like magic adventure last. I mean, I'm not saying Andor's bad, because Andor's probably the best thing, almost the best thing in Star Wars, probably, period, if I'm being quite honest. But this is just different.
Definitely since Disney's taken it over, hands down.
Oh, yeah. I think Andor's up there with the top Star Wars, man.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's just solid. And I think Rogue One is really good, too, the movie.
Yeah, agreed. Rogue One is really good.
That's the only movie with the Disney movies that felt, like, authentic to the original trilogy and stuff. But anyways, no, I enjoyed it. My kids enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
5-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they love it, and I love it, and that's what Star Wars is supposed to be, right?
Yep, absolutely.
It's awesome. I've enjoying it a lot. And I agree with you. The 7, 7, and 8, but just because it's not like a 9 or 10 doesn't mean we freaking love. Like, you know, like it doesn't need to be a perfect thing for us to praise it as much. You know?
Yeah, I agree. And it could. I mean, this is also still just the beginning, so it could build up to even better, which I'm hoping. I hope it does.
Or it could build up to get worse.
It could.
I don't think so.
We'll
I don't think so. I have a feeling this show will be like a consistent kind of show. I just have that feeling. I don't know why.
It's a good sign that through 3 episodes, it's been very consistent. So that gives me hope.
How did episode 3 end again? Do you remember? They escaped.
Yeah, they escaped
that planet or moon or whatever,
and had Captain Silvo say that he's going to follow their lead, or you know.
That's right. Yeah, because they told him to tell us the truth. Yada yada. Yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, I'm curious. There's a ton of mystery too. Like you said, is he a Jedi? Is he not a Jedi? I mean, maybe he's not a Jedi, but he's just Force sensitive. You know, like you've mentioned.
Learn from someone, and if so, who?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Also, what do you think of, we didn't even talk about him, but the main pirate villain guy? I mean, we haven't seen much of him, but he's a cool design.
Yeah, he is a cool design. I like that. Species is good for a villain.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm interested to see more of him.
So, like, with predictions, is this show, is it kind of going to be like there's going to be multiple different people coming after them to find a planet, and it's like kind of like multiple different angles of like people getting the planet kind of thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not just going to be that pirate that's chasing him. It'll probably be
maybe
the
New Republic
or... Yeah,
definitely.
New Republic chasing them, that pirate chasing them, and then maybe some other stragglers, and they all kind of find this planet, and that'll be interesting. I'm very curious, like, and I hope, I don't know if there's gonna be multiple season or one season, but please don't, like, I'm so sick of ending on cliffhangers and not getting resolution, man.
Yeah.
A good show will give you resolution with this story, but then still hook you on for future storylines, man.
Yeah, that's what I hope they're building up to.
We'll see. We got, like you said, we're not even halfway done, so I'm digging it. Can't wait to keep watching.
Episode 4 tomorrow. Very cool.
Yeah.